What is up, RotoGrinders? Happy Friday. Happy Film Friday. We're giving away week 3 of RG Premium. Just jump in that Discord channel. Tell me what film I'm talking about. The first clue drops when we get to 20 likes. 20 likes, you get the first clue. We're going to go in increments of 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. Every 20 new likes, we get an extra clue. One guess per clue drop. Dropping that clue. Once we get the 20 likes, hit that like button. Smash it. Tap it. Caress it. Just hit the thumb. We're good to go. Myself, Bobby Gomes. You got us first hour and change, hour and 50 minutes. Crunch time coming in here. TJ Zwarych. TJ, one of the greatest DFS players / producers in all of Saskatchewan, Canada. TJ working double duty, making a cameo appearance there for J3. I imagine he's probably clamoring for right now there in the chat. Yeah, you got TJ and Notorious, the Notorious one, taking you guys home for crunch time. We can take our time today, Bobby. It's a 6-gamer. Kick back and relax because we got an hour and 15 minutes to talk about the first 6 games. Jason Tatum, I'm not sure if you've heard. He's right around the corner from you, Bobby. We could see him just if you look a little bit past that piano, if you look out that window. Jason Tatum, going to be in uniform tonight. I don't know how close you are to the stadium. I think you're fairly close to it's
like a 5-minute walk, Dean.
There you go. Well, and yeah, you wouldn't drive. You would just walk. I guess that makes sense.
I would just walk, yeah.
Is your parking getting taken up? Because I would imagine tickets are
I'm happy the Celtics are good right now, and they're probably going to be in the finals. So
you go back and forth in this. Now you're happy? Wait until the parking.
It's good for business. It's good for business, right?
How close is the restaurant?
Also like a 5-minute walk, but
okay.
Yeah, restaurant's probably closer.
There you go. Yeah, go to a game, go to the restaurant. Don't need a car. That's pretty convenient for sure. If y'all have not heard, secrets out. Yeah, Jason Tatum playing basketball tonight for Boston. Not just that, ESPN got to be thrilled. And they're getting the first game ever for Cooper Flagg in Boston as well. A lot of the people from Maynards, I believe they're called Maynards. You know, apparently he's got a friends and family in the house closest to arena for Maynards. And
can I just shout out Gregorius the Wise? We were just talking about YouTube channels, and I was telling Dean and TJ how good the Y-Files is. And they just they blasted me, but it's just interesting.
We didn't blast you. We just said okay. like you watch it and you love it, and that's great.
You should watch it. You should watch it.
Provided no negative reaction whatsoever.
But I just assumed like negativity.
I just assumed negativity because there was no interest. But
what was just like okay? I mean, there's to be honest, Bobby, there's just so many things to watch. There's so many good. Look, I haven't seen Chernobyl yet. I've heard Chernobyl is spectacular. The HBO miniseries from like 10 years ago. I've never seen it. Just because it's on the list. I'll see it one day. But like I'm gonna watch that before I'm gonna watch the Y-Files. No offense to the Y-Files. I'm sure it's perfectly fine.
I just finished the first season of Jury Duty today. So good. So funny.
Brilliant. Just hilarious. Yeah, the second season's coming up soon for Jury Duty. But if you like Jury Duty, the Joe Schmo Show. Find the Joe Schmo Show from like 15, 20 years ago or so. Very similar premise. I don't know if it's playing anywhere. I have no idea. But yeah, do check out Jury Duty on Amazon. Second season is coming soon. I've not seen Neighbors on HBO. Don Yeezy's asking about that. I know it's a new series. I've not caught that just yet, but I did see the trailer and it looked pretty wild. Tell me in chat what you guys are watching. What are you watching? What are we plowing through these days? Maybe just one episode, or you're kind of grinding on through and watching 6 or 7 in a sitting. Curious what the people are watching. Bobby, you got a show besides the Y-Files, not just on the YouTube, just in general?
I haven't been able to find anything I really want to watch recently. But I'm open to suggestions as always.
TJ typing in chats, apparently the upcoming show Rooster on HBO looks incredible. I don't know. I'm not aware of that. I did see Lanterns. I saw a trailer for that. That's TJ's world. TJ probably seen the Lanterns trailer.
I'm excited for that. Rooster comes out in 2 days. It's same head writer as Ted Lasso and Shrinking, and it's Steve Carell in the lead.
Where's
Another
it playing?
person in chat love the Y-Files, just throwing out there.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm interested. Lanterns looks like, and I don't know anything about the Green Lantern except that like the Seth Rogen movie apparently was really bad. But he's a Marvel guy, I think, or DC. Correct me if I'm wrong. And it's like
DC.
It's okay. Yeah,
Same
I know.
Universe is the Superman movie that recently came out.
It looks like what if the Green Lantern was True Detective or something like that. It's like
that was the pitch for the show. Is
oh really?
This is True Detective, with Space Cops.
Oh, and Luke is correcting me. That was the Green Hornet. I got my greens confused. My apologies. I will stay in my lane. I don't know much about that world. Okay. 6-gamer tonight, Bobby. As far as body parts, as far as injuries. We have a lot of games, a lot of teams in the back half of a back-to-back. A lot of them. 7, I think it is. I want to say every single game has at least one team that's playing the back half of a back-to-back. Dallas is one of them, and they're traveling as well, and they're playing against Tatum. They're 15-point dogs. Denver's playing the back half of a back-to-back. Houston as well, and they have some questionable guys, and we were talking about this yesterday. It did not come to fruition, but maybe it happens tonight. Houston yesterday started the first game and the start of 3 and 4 and the start of 5 and 7, and they're playing Portland, a team they should be favored against. 6 points, right? There's some questionable players, so we'll see if that gets cleaned up or not. Lakers, well, that's not on our slate. I wrote that down, but yeah, LeBron is out for those that care. I guess it's a showdown game, I suppose. It's not on FanDuel, not on DK tonight. Miami playing the back half of back to early. That sound you hear.
That scared me.
Well, I mean, we played it pre-show just to kind of prep you.
I know.
It's going to happen every time we get 20 likes. 20 likes, and we get another clue for today's Film Friday. It's going to go ahead and scroll there on the bottom in just a second. But the first clue, I can verbalize it for you if you'd like. The first clue is return. Return is the first clue. Get that Discord channel. Let me know what film I am talking about on a Friday. San Antonio also playing the back half of back-to-back. They played a ton of minutes last night, too. At least Wemby played almost 40. Phoenix playing the back half of back-to-back. And the Pels, both those teams playing the back half of back-to-back. So a lot of back-to-back stuff. The only team in the front end is the Clippers. We talked about the Houston stuff, right, as far as injuries. I want to get the most recent injury report, 5 o'clock. I got the 4:45. Dallas is without a lot of bigs. Bagley officially doubtful. Lively is out. Gafford officially doubtful. We're assuming all 3 of those are out. So we're currently giving the start to, I think we're giving the Powell. Cisse is also questionable too. He may or may not be lurking in the G League. The Heat are without 4 regulars. Or without Wiggins officially ruled out. Powell's still out, so 2 starters and then 2 role players in Fontecchio and Jovic. They're not playing basketball tonight. Denny Avdia officially doubtful. We're assuming he's not playing. That back is nagging him for sure. And then Houston, Jabari Smith is questionable with an ankle. Amen Thompson, who played, they went to overtime last night. I think he played 40 or 41, maybe 42 minutes last night. And again, they're in the midst of 5 and 7, 3 and 4. So wouldn't be surprised. I'm kind of waiting for Houston to rest somebody. Royce O'Neal also questionable. Josh Hart questionable for New York. Aaron Gordon, there was speculation of him coming back tonight. He's officially questionable, as is Cam Johnson for Denver. We also lost Darius Garland for the Clippers. And the name is just too cool. He could not play the entire season. Yannick Conan Niederhauser, he's out for tonight and for the rest of the season for the Clippers. Bobby, general thoughts as far as tonight's slate? 6-gamer. We can pace ourselves, but do you have an overview? Any sort of anything kind of popping for you right now? Mark Williams is still out, so Oso is looking like the most popular play as far as point per dollar center for Phoenix. Looking like I don't want to say a free square. I don't want to do that, but point per dollar, I believe, is our best point per dollar play on the board by a good bit. How you feeling about tonight's slate? What injury are we monitoring most?
Yeah, there isn't a ton of value on tonight's slate. Like you said, Oso projects really well with Mark Williams out as a value, but he's 5,200. Like, it's really tough to get low in the slate. Very interested to see, like, we have the if Amen Thompson's out, and Jabari Smith, Reed Shepherd would get a significant boost. So waiting on that injury news. Also Sengun, it's a great matchup, and he would get a boost as well. So definitely waiting on that injury news. That game starts at 8. Jalen Brunson's a player that I have a good bit of interest tonight. Very good matchup. I just think that, like, the Knicks, where do we have Jalen Brunson? Like almost 16% ownership. Like, I definitely want to try to get over that if possible.
15-ish, yeah. 15, 16.
So Yeah, that's kind of like the main guys that I'm looking to, and how I'm kind of my roster constructions currently going right now. But definitely want that Houston news if possible. I think Tatum being back likely hurts Jaylen Brown. Is he back tonight for sure?
Yeah, I mean, like I don't know if he's officially
going to be limited, so
he's playing.
Yeah, he's playing.
He's official. Oh yeah, he's officially available. They have him available on the injury report. So yeah, he's playing tonight.
So Jaylen at 10K, that kind of like, I don't know how he impacts Jaylen, but at that price, he's going to do enough that I think he will. Obviously, Joker's a big spend in the slate, and if we had more value, I'd try to get up to Joker at 12.5, but it's like we just don't have the value. So he's not someone I'm really interested in. I think I'd prefer like Kawhi as a spend down, or Brunson or Sengun, like we kind of already talked about. Yeah, and that's mainly how I'm seeing the slate. Do you have any other takes? I know these Charlotte guys look good. I was reading you in the survey. You like LaMelo, Brandon Miller, I would imagine, etc.
Yeah. So we'll dig into more detail when we get to Charlotte, Miami, but that's my favorite game by far. My main lineup. I don't make a lot of lineups. I don't run 100 or 20 or whatever. My main lineup almost definitely is going to be a 2-2, possibly more, of Charlotte and Miami. The Heat are without 4 regulars, two of their key stars, 2 of their role players, and Charlotte is fully healthy, yes, but they're playing Miami. Charlotte's like the fifth slowest team as far as pace in the season. Miami's the fastest. And the key thing with Charlotte, if you look at, they've been too good. They've won a bunch of games. They've won 6 in a row in their last 6 games. I think the shortest deficit is winning by like 13 or 14 or 17. They're just blowing everybody out. So you're not really getting ceiling games out of Charlotte because, these guys are just not playing the fourth quarter. Charlotte, one of the few teams on this slate that's actually playing an island game. Not playing tomorrow, didn't play yesterday, and that significantly impacts LaMelo Ball. If this game stays close, I think we got a chance to get like 31, 32 minutes out of Ball, and we haven't seen that a lot lately. And Miller is probably my favorite play on the slate. That's the guy. I wrote up both those guys. Ball, ownership-wise, is going to be lower just because, again, the minutes are not guaranteed. He hasn't been playing a ton, but not most of that, but a good chunk of that is because they're just blowing everybody out. And I think Miami can play really, really tight as well. Spo talks about getting out of the Miami Heat Invitational, a.k.a., the playing game. And he's like, that's like an important thing to him. They're kind of jockeying with Charlotte as one of the teams, right? Philly officially in the 6 hole, Orlando 7, Miami 8, where they are. That's their role. That's where they play. Atlanta, of course. The teams are basically settled for what it's worth, by the way. There's like 20 games left in the season. And, Atlanta's got 32 wins, and the 11th team or the 12th team is Milwaukee and Chicago. They're 6 games back. So you kind of know what teams are going to be in the playoff mix in the East. But I think Spo kind of values this game because Charlotte's right there. I talked about this yesterday. It's kind of funny. Like Charlotte fans, they're probably thrilled to be 32-31. And Miami fans are miserable to be 34-29. It's just funny how I guess maybe my fans are spoiled, but Charlotte's just happy to be on the up and up, and good for them for trying. But I went kind of long, kind of gas baggy, but I love this Miami Charlotte game. It's going to be the game I build my lineups around, and if it blows out, on to tomorrow. That's it. But if it's close, I feel like I got a shot.
Yeah, I like the Brandon Miller call. I'm getting a ton of Brandon Miller. I guess we're kind of like transitioning into Miami and Charlotte currently.
Oh, that's the first game, so I can go ahead and just introduce it. 228.5 is the total. Miami is a 7.5 point dog, so like in theory, this game should stay close, right? And Charlotte, again, they've been crushing. They've been killing everybody. Last 6 games, just absolutely annihilating opponents. You mentioned Brandon Miller. Well, I should tell you that Charlotte is fully healthy, right? Nobody out for Charlotte of note. As far as Miami, if you missed the start of the show, this is another reason why we like Brandon Miller, because Wiggins is a pretty solid wing defender. He's going to be out, and now it looks like it's probably going to be Pelly Larson that is tasked with covering Miller. So that's certainly an upgrade for Miller. We'll get that second clue in just a second. Norm Powell also out. Pelly Larson available, good to go. Jokic and Fontecchio. So Miami is going to be. They officially have 11 guys, but like they might play 8-ish, 8.5. Like Drew. They could play. I guess they could play 9. They should play 9 with Gardner and Drew Smith being 8-9. But yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. We should introduce the second clue. I presume, I didn't get a chance to look, but I presume we did not get a winner in our Discord channel for today's Film Friday. I'm jumping in there right now, but the second clue is scrolling and it is pretend. It is not signs or the Martian.
I know what it is. I know what it is. I know.
Well,
I know I ruined the game last week, but I can run it again this week.
You could put it in the private chat, Bobby, and you can take your victory lap. Shout out to you. We'll get you some free premium. Dark Knight, no, it's not Terminator 2 or Avatar or Castaway or Back to the Future. But yeah, Bobby, this is my favorite game. It's the Heat. It's the Hornets. It's the biggest total on the board. At least it's tied with New York and Denver. I guess New York and Denver is 1 point higher now. This is kind of shuffled throughout the day. It is not the Mask of Zorro. Why were you so confident that it was the Mask of Zorro?
I don't know. I was right last week, so I just went along with it. Only goes hot, you know?
So, Bobby, talk to me about Charlotte and the Heat.
Yeah, so from the Charlotte side, I think it's Brandon Miller, like you said, with Wiggins out, that kind of makes the most sense. 7,700, seen a good bit of minutes. We have him for 33.5, so I think that's a pretty strong number for him. Miles Bridges at 6,400. I think we currently have him at 16% ownership. I'm fine with being right around the field on Miles Bridges in my 150. Like, I don't love him. I don't hate him. Could have used him the other night, but didn't really work out. Con Knippel, 7,200. I know it's a pace-up spot for Charlotte. Should be pretty good for Knippel. But I'm currently under the field on Knippel at 7,200. It's just these guys are so priced up. Like LaMelo, 4% ownership, 8,700. Like, try to get overweight on it. I just don't think I can today.
Why can't you?
I'm not playing 150.
Over 4%?
I'm not playing 150. I have.
You playing 20 or something? What are you playing?
15 teams total. So
2's over.
What?
You play 2, you're over, right? 3,
I played 2 MO. Yeah, I played 2 MO. I just I'm playing like a one main cash game team. I probably have less than that because I'm playing one main cash and then like 7 tournament lineups. I just don't know if I can get to LaMelo at 8,700 currently, Dean.
Yeah, I get it.
Kobe White, 5,200. I think he's in play for 150. That's mainly the Charlotte guys like I really have interest in. Like Moussa Diabate, I don't want to pay 6,200 for, sorry. And he would be like the only other Charlotte guy that I really have interest in. I think I have this Heat situation wrong because not getting a ton of Heat currently. Could tell where you go back to what was he off the bench last night for 60? Like
he came off the bench. He also benefited from Bam being in foul trouble. He played like 16 minutes straight or so, but he was also incredible. He was awesome. He had like 11 or 12 stocks or something goofy like that.
Yeah,
you're ready for baseball season. You call him Cattell Marte.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. No, you're good. We're assuming he starts tonight with Wiggins out.
Speaking of Cattell Marte, the Sox should have just pulled the trigger when they had the chance.
Was that an option? I don't recall.
I guess they had
following that.
Yeah, they had to give up. Who's the second baseman there that they took with the 3rd overall pick?
Christian something?
No. He's the shortstop, but he's playing second now.
Dustin Pedroia?
No, it's not 2013.
Rafaela?
No, not Rafaela. I think Rafaela was part of the deal, though.
Yeah, we're derailing the show.
We're derailing the show, yeah. Pelly Larson, 5,200. I think he's fine. I don't love it. You're more in on this game than I am, I would imagine. Like Hero, 7,400. I guess with how the minutes are condensed, I should have more Heat. So I could probably, when I re-upload and do everything else, I'll get some more Hero. Davion Mitchell stinks. I can't do that to myself. Jaime Hawkins, 5,900 I like. Small forward eligible. I don't mind getting a Jaime. Bam was in foul trouble last night. 8,400 for Bam. Should see around
smashing too.
Minutes. I like Bam, but like I said, I currently don't have as much exposure to the Miami Heat, and it's more towards these Charlotte guys, but mainly Brandon Miller getting a ton of.
Yeah, I don't really love the matchup for Bam. I think the Moose Diabate is a pretty solid defender, but we're giving him 34 minutes. Like probably Larson, we're giving 33, Hero 32, Jaime 31. Jaime played the most minutes for Miami yesterday. Basically, once he comes in, he stays in more or less. He's not a starter, but once he's in the game, he's basically going to stay in. We're giving Mitchell 28, no guarantee he closes. We're giving 27 to Ware. There's a chance he gets more. There's a chance he gets less. We talked about the volatility yesterday. Yakachona's getting 20 minutes. The interesting one, I don't feel great about Myron Gardner at 18 minutes. He's actually hitting some lineups because he's still in 3K on DK, and his projection's not great. It's like 16. I don't love it. But like if you think this game is going to blow out, if you're a little less on Miami, he's going to get some run, I think. We're giving him 18 minutes, and there's some volatility in that I could see him tightening up the rotation, and maybe he doesn't necessarily get 18, but he would get blowout run for sure if this game was blowout. If you want to play that angle, but I'm not really sure what I'm doing at Gardner officially, but I don't want to play him. I think that cheap enough and more solidified minutes. Feel good about Larson. Feel good about Jaquez. I'd love to get the Bam. I just don't know if I am. I think I'm prioritizing that salary first to Ball in this game. I think there's assuming this game stays close, there's a pretty good chance he gets 31 minutes against Miami with the pace. Miami a good defensive team, but you make up the difference with the extra possessions. My favorite is Miller.
I didn't realize Myron was 58% owned, but
I hate that.
This just update.
450. Yeah, I don't know if it's some. I got to hit refresh as well, but
yeah, I got to rerun.
It's not going to be that, by the way. Spoiler alert. It's not. He's not going to be. We have him 40% owned. That's no way. There's no way that's right. I will make that bold. Yeah, 58% for Gardner. That's just like, and if anything opens up on the slate, he's one of the first things that like his ownership's going to go away. But that does seem crazy high. I think Ware is going to be really popular because we all know about the ceiling for him. He's almost definitely going to start. There's some volatility, but people love chasing what happened yesterday. And I love Ware whenever there's key players that are out, and there's 4 in total, 2 starters. So his minutes are pretty solid. Although, you remember how good Ware was yesterday? He didn't finish. He didn't close the game. He was out at the 3-minute mark. Came out for – they bring Bam back at that moment. They kind of sort of blew out to the Nets. It wasn't a full-on blowout, but the starters were out there. But Ware was not the last few minutes. Again, he did play a 16-minute stretch in a row, so maybe that was part of it. But there's no guarantee he closes. But also, it was just the sprinkles and the icing and the cake, whatever you want to call it, because he had already, 10x his salary, whatever it was. And I didn't even see what his FanDuel score must have been ridiculously goofy with all those stocks. He had 5 and 5 at least. I don't know what was it, 7 blocks? He didn't go full Hassan Whiteside, but it was pretty spectacular. And this is why he's such an enigma, right? This is why Miami is hesitant to trade him away as a trade chip, because he shows these flashes.
Shortcuts.
What was that, Bobby? TJ?
I think we just lost Bobby, but it made some kind of weird noise at the same time. I think he clicked some kind of shortcut and froze.
Okay. I thought we heard the same thing. I was like, what kind of page do I have open? And now Bobby's just staring at me. We're like a staring contest.
It was like a high voice that said something about shortcuts, but I don't know what that was. And he just was gone immediately after. That was kind of crazy.
That was okay. For a second there, I'm like, was that? I always this paranoid. Is that me? What do I have open?
Bobby either just got hacked or clicked something that gave his computer a virus.
I don't know. Marcelo Mayer, by the way, I think was the Boston Red Sox. He was thinking about for what it's worth. But is it just me and you, TJ? You're gonna hang out with me until Bobby comes back? I don't know.
Yeah, he disappeared out of StreamYard now, so I guess I'm here for now.
Okay. Well, TJ, are you in agreement with me as far as Miami Charlotte being one of the top games on the board? It's my favorite game on the board. How are you attacking the slate? Are you running 150? I know you're working crunch time, so maybe it's a little trickier as far as making lineups. What is your approach?
Yeah, I just decided to do one because producing and hosting Crunch Time didn't want to get some late news and then go, oh, damn, there's nothing I can do. And so I figured I'd just roll out one lineup tonight. And I agree with you. This is my favorite game on the slate. Like, I kind of want to load up on this one and then save the rest of my lineup for Pelicans, Suns, and Clippers, Spurs is kind of how I'm going about this one.
Officially, Jason
Tatum. 3-game slate with those 3 games.
Yeah. We'll talk about it, but there's certainly some games that are more appealing than others, and we'll see what happens with Houston. And I don't know if we'll know if Crunch Time will know, but Houston can certainly get really interesting if we happen to lose a couple of their key players. Officially, Jason Tatum is starting, by the way. Coach Mazzulla when asked if Tatum will have a minutes restrictions Friday, he says, I have no idea. Like, come on. I mean, I know this guy's a madman, Mazzulla. He's not gonna play Tatum like 35 minutes. Like that's I think we're giving him 15 for what it's worth. I can see him beating 15, but
would like to pat myself on the back and shout out to anyone who remembers me saying it, but I did say that Tatum would return this year, and my prediction was shortly after the All-Star break.
I said this before that. I said I've been touting Tatum all season long. I was talking about Boston.
I did it like literally the day after he tore his Achilles.
Oh, okay. So I didn't do that. I couldn't. You were officially first. Okay.
That's why I'm so proud of myself. I got receipts and everything right after. As soon as I found out that he got the surgery really quick, I was that was my bold prediction that happens to be coming true. So I'm proud of that one. What's up, Bobby?
I remember Bill Simmons talking about it, and I don't know the science of it. I don't pretend to know the science of it. But I remember Simmons was talking about how it's really beneficial when you tear your Achilles to have the surgery as fast as possible. But yeah, so
he got it right after. He got it like right after that day, right? Or
like 10 hours. It was like he got it really, really quickly. And he certainly beat back DeJounte Murray. Not that it was a race necessarily, but Bobby, we were having a staring contest there for a second. I didn't know you officially froze, but welcome back. I'm sure TJ's happy to have you back as well. I'm happy to have you. Final thoughts as far as Miami and Charlotte. It seems like myself and TJ, and maybe have you convinced, but I'm very much into Charlotte and Miami. Charlotte's one of these days, I don't know if it's going to happen tonight, but one of these days they're going to play a close game where their best players can play 30 minutes. And we just haven't seen that because they're just blowing everybody out. Again, their last 6 games, they won their last 6 games at minimum by 16. But we're talking about 30-point victory over Chicago, 20-point victory over your Boston Celtics. That's most recently. 27 versus Dallas. This is in part why the minutes are just so down. I thought we'd get a cheaper price for Ball because of all this. We haven't seen a ceiling game out of him. But, I guess that's going to push down the ownership. You got anything else as far as Miami and Charlotte?
Like I said, Brandon Miller is probably my favorite play. And I'm with you on Myron Garner. I think like we're too hot on the ownership. If we get more value, then he'll eventually come down.
And it's a 7:00 game too. Like I wouldn't want to lock all that in. Like that's not. We'll see. I imagine that number is going to come down. I think it has to come down. 17 point. It's not even a great projection. I don't think we're getting near that on FanDuel. I could be wrong. Let me just double check and confirm. He's 3.5 over there. We're getting 11% over there. Just kind of a different build on FanDuel, but yeah, that seems too high for me. Dallas taking on Boston. I'm not sure if you heard it, Bobby, but officially Jason Tatum, they said is going to start. That doesn't necessarily mean. I mean, he's probably going to play more minutes than Obi Toppin's been playing these days, but they got to get him the introduction right, get the crowd pumped up. He's earned it coming back. 224.5 is the total. They're 15-point favorites, monster favorites. Dallas back half of back-to-back and traveling. They're without a lot of big guys. Well, not officially, but kind of, sort of, somewhat. We have Gafford is officially doubtful. Bagley officially doubtful with his neck. Lively is officially out with his foot. So that's like their first 3 bigs. We're currently projecting Dwight Powell to start, but Moussa Cisse is questionable. If Cisse doesn't go, I guess they'd have to give Powell more run. Not that the matchup, true centers against Boston's a good matchup, but he might play a fair bit. We'll keep an eye on that. Brandon Williams is officially in for Dallas. And Boston is fully healthy with the exception of Jordan Walsh, who's currently questionable. He had the clam chowder. So he's not feeling up to snuff, but not officially out, and it doesn't matter. because Tatum's back. Even if Tatum wasn't back, it wouldn't really matter. Boston, Dallas, what do you got for me?
Yeah, Tatum being back hurts a lot of these Celtics. Jaylen Brown at 10K, shooting guard, small forward. We have him at 10% ownership. Like, no thank you for me. I think in my 150, I'd probably, if I was playing 150, I'd be half that. It's not really.
Who's that?
In Jaylen Brown.
Oh, okay.
Derek White, 8-1, 6% ownership. We have him for point guard position. I like a lot of other point guards better. How Tatum affects him, just not really interested there. Same thing with Pritchard. Queta at 5'3", I do have interest in at the center position. I just think that there is opportunity there for Queta. Pretty decent ceiling, so I don't mind Neemias Queta. There's really not much to love in this game. Like I don't know where you would want to go on the Celtics side. I just don't have any interest really with Tatum back. And then getting over to Dallas, like I don't really want to pay 6-2 for PJ Washington tonight. Oh yeah, there's not much on the Dallas side either. Like, do we really want to play Najee Marshall at 6'6" on the slate? Like, I don't think so. Again, he's played better, but not really interested in him. Flag at 8,800. Maybe you could say homecoming game. I have no interest.
His minutes are monitored though. He's playing the back half of back-to-back. He looked really tired yesterday. He played. I was sort of surprised he played yesterday because I thought they're kind of ramping up for him to play today. But he played 26 minutes yesterday. He was 7 for 22. He wasn't very good as far as making his shots. I imagine they're going to let him, of course they're going to let him play here. This, I guess, homecoming. It's not really, but close enough, I suppose. It's too much money, and I don't think he's going to play enough minutes to matter is the problem. Yeah,
I think a sneaky play from this game, if it's not Queta, would be a guy like Sam Hauser at 4,800. And it's more of a large field tournament play. If he hits his threes, we've seen ceiling from him. Obviously, Tatum was out previously, but I think at that small forward, power forward position, Hauser's fine in like 150.
Worth noting as far as Queta specifically on FanDuel is 4.8. He's center and center only. You can only roster one. That's a really good price. I think it's a really good price. And, again, Dallas without officially, I believe, we're getting the news. Gafford officially out. We assume that. Bagley officially out. We assume that. I do wonder if Cisse is available because if they're without him, they're really pretty short. Just Powell, who's kind of an undersized center. Yeah, and I thought Cisse would be kind of interesting. I don't know if he plays. Just don't like to pick on Boston in the interior. They're really good defensively, interior-wise. If you want to play like a blowout route or whatever, I thought there was a chance that Cisse might even start over Powell, but that does not seem likely. Somebody in chat asked, "Do we play Tatum if he starts?" No. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but no, come on, no, you can't. They're charging full price. I shouldn't say full price, right? Because he's 5.5 on FanDuel. I didn't realize he's 5. I somehow missed that. He's 5.5 on FanDuel. Huh. Maybe you can play him at 5.5 on FanDuel. I know DK is at least 8. I think he's 8 flat, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he's 8K on DK. We're only giving him 15 minutes. So I think there's a chance he plays more than 15. That's a median guess, obviously. But I would say he could be in your pool. You tell me, Bobby. Like, are his projections 20 fantasy points on FanDuel at 5.5?
Who was this?
I wouldn't say this is Jason Tatum.
I wouldn't.
They're making it interesting, but still, yeah.
I don't know. Is the ceiling really there though? That's like with his minutes.
What kind of ceiling you need for a guy that's 5'5"? 35, 40? Can he get 35, 40 in 20 minutes if he plays 20 minutes? I don't know. I wouldn't completely exit out. I wouldn't completely exit out, but I guess
on FanDuel he's fine. I wouldn't pay 8K for him on DK. Not a chance.
Definitely not. No chance. Yeah, I agree with that. And as for Dallas, you're kind of running them down. I don't know who to play on Dallas to get excited. One of the centers maybe, but probably not. If Cisse starts, he's kind of interesting. If Cisse doesn't play, I guess Powell should have a reasonable amount of minutes, I guess, but he's not a good fantasy point better player. And this game can definitely blow out. And he's not necessarily the kind of guy that would play blowout with this setup. So I just don't like anybody. And, flag if the price was cheaper. It's hard for me to get excited about anybody in Dallas. And Boston, really good defensive team. They play slow. Does Dallas have the lowest team total on the board? 105. Is anybody lower than that? I don't think so.
The Clippers are right there, a point ahead, but it's
just not terribly exciting. I got nothing else here as far as Dallas Boston. You want to scoot along?
Yeah, we can scoot along.
Taking a peek at the Discord channel for today's Film Friday. I'm not sure how close we are for clue number 3, but I imagine it's pending. Return and Pretend are our first 2 clues. It's not Mean Girls or Weekend at Bernie's. Gets a good guess, though. Terminator or Catch Me If You Can. It's also a good guess. Not Harry Potter, any of the Harry Potters for that matter, or Liar Liar. Another strong guess. Okay, third game. Blazers, Rockets. A lot of this matters pending news. 220.5 is the total. The Rockets playing the back half of back-to-back. They're 6-point favorites versus Portland's. Denny Avdia, we're assuming he's out. He's officially doubtful. Chris Murray officially questionable with an illness. Otherwise, nothing really of note. With Houston, 2 key players are questionable, right? Ankles for both Amen and Jabari. Amen played a pile of minutes last night. I think it was like 40 or 41. Both these guys were questionable last night. And again, I keep talking about how it's the 3 and 4, 5 and 7. At some point, they're going to get rest, I would assume. Yeah, Ahmed played 44 last night. Good Lord. It was an overtime game, obviously. But I don't really know what to do with this game without that news. But if nothing changes, if all these guys play, it's hard to get really excited about anything here. I know it's a 6-game slate, and at some point, you got to start playing some dudes. Shout out to Chop, by the way. Chop on the show yesterday was talking about Shepard. Shepard was really, really strong, really, really good. And he would be one of the guys that benefits if we happen to lose Jabari or Amen. I know we have an if-then set up, more usage being thrown to KD, more usage being thrown to Şengün as well. But assuming everybody plays, I'm not terribly excited. What say you?
Yeah. If everyone plays, I don't have a ton of interest, but if, say we get Thompson out, it was, say we get Thompson and Jabari Smith out, Reed Shepard becomes a phenomenal play. So I have a lot of Tari Eason built in, and then I'll just swap down to Reed Shepard in that instance. Şengün is a very good matchup. So he's someone I'm pretty interested in. He didn't play well last night. No, it's a back-to-back.
He was sick yesterday, for what you want to give an excuse.
I just don't. I would rather, Reed Shepard and Şengün are easily my 2 favorite plays on the Rockets. And it's mainly due to this, if we find someone, one of Amen or Jabari is out. And yeah, those would be my favorite. And then Kevin Durant, obviously always in play, but I don't know. I just don't see a lot of it's a 4-point spread, right? And I don't think a lot of these Portland guys really can handle a lot of these Houston guys, especially a guy like Şengün on the interior. So, yeah. Klingon, I think, is my favorite Portland guy at 7,600. The ceiling is just astronomical. I know he got thrown out the other night, but
you see the play?
I did not see it, but I heard it wasn't the greatest. It should have been.
It's hard to tell it was intentional. If it was intentional, it was bad. If it wasn't intentional, it could have been one of those incidental things that just kind of happens. It was kind of like a swinging with an elbow with the ball and pivoting through and swinging through, and it caught somebody in the jaw, and it was a flagrant 2. And he was, not to cut you off here, Bobby, but I'm sure you were watching. He was one of the most popular players in the slate. 12 minutes versus Memphis, and 6.7.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he had 4 blocks and 9 rebounds in 12 minutes, and he had some points too. He was just absolutely dominating that game, and he was gonna. I don't want to say break the slate because everybody had him. I cashed with some teams with Klingon because he wasn't dreadful, and everybody had him anyway. So, but not as good a matchup. Obviously, he was picking on Memphis, a team that had no bigs, and he's a 7'2" big boy. He's kind of wide as well. So, I think he's of note, but he's fully priced here against Houston. I don't really like anybody on Portland. Even if Avdia doesn't play, and we're assuming he doesn't play, just I can't get excited about the Blazers.
Yeah, you really think Klingon couldn't outperform that 7,600 if he gets full run here?
Oh, you're talking about tonight? Can he? Yeah, sure. Of course he can.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he can. It's just he's not a core play for me, but yeah, I think he can.
Yeah, I think in tournaments, getting over on what do we have for his ownership? 5%. I think he's
about that. Yeah,
he would be the one player for Portland that I'd want to get over on. Jeremy Grant, Drew Holiday. I know Drew Holiday had a 60 burger the other night.
He's been good of late.
He's been good, yeah. But on this slate, like, I just don't see the need. Same with Jeremy Grant. It'd mainly be just Klingon for me. And I think that news is super important with Eamon Thompson and Jabari Smith. For Reed Shepard, obviously. And I think Sengun would be a guy that at 7%, I'd probably, where we have him right now, I'd probably try to come in around 14. Because I think it's 9,400 is a lot to pay, but if I was playing 150, yeah, I'd try to get over on that number based on the matchup.
Jordan Walsh officially ruled out. Brandon Williams officially in for Dallas. Klay Thompson on the back half of back-to-back is in as well. We did up Tatum's minutes on the news that he's starting. We got him up to 18, it looks like. So, yeah, I mean, still. So 18 minutes, 23.6 fantasy points. It's a median projection at 5.5 in FanDuel. Playable, not thrilled. Somebody in chat said, like, he's gotten 40 fantasy points in 20 minutes before. Okay, but he's never done that with a torn Achilles repair. We're not sure. Are we going to get 100% Tatum right out the gate? Probably not. Is he going to go? He probably is going to want to go full throttle, but,
he probably plays like 5 minutes and they remove him.
5-minute spurts, maybe 4 or 5-minute spurts, 20 minutes. That we can see something like that each quarter.
That's how I would see it. Yeah.
They probably, they have a plan, right? Coach is just lying to us. He's a big liar. There's got to be a plan.
I think that, yeah, I don't know. I would imagine that they'd take it very slow. I wouldn't even rush them back. Like,
there's no reason to push. There's still 20 games left in the season. Like, there's no reason to push it.
There's no reason.
These games don't matter.
You want to get him ready for the playoffs and for him to find his role in the rotation, but yeah, it's just like a little. It's weird that he wants to come back right away, especially after an injury like that.
Well, I think that's just sort of like an athletic mentality. It's an athlete mentality, isn't it? Like, he's watching the games. It's got to be killing him not playing.
It also gets to a certain point that if you have no pain and your strength levels are the same or better as they were before, what do you wait for?
Yeah.
Like, if you're at 100%, do you just wait until something happens and you're not?
And also, there's the window. The window's open. The window's ajar. Like in the Eastern Conference, like people were thinking that this is just be kind of a punt year, and there's no reason to force them back. But Boston's been very good, and the East is up for grabs. Right? There's no dominant team.
I think they're gonna. I think they win the East now. I just think they could have waited another 10 games and still have won the East.
I hope you're right. Detroit. It's a fun story, but are we really scared of Detroit? Are we scared of New York or Cleveland? I don't think so. They're fine teams.
Someone makes a good point in chat. They should play him off the bench, but I think the ego there with him and Jaylen Brown, they're kind of the story's kind of been a thing. Is like they're trying to fight for. Not like obviously it's been Jaylen Brown's team all year. I don't think they want to hurt Tatum's feelings by not.
Well, you got to give the home crowd wants to give him the big eruption with the introduction. You got to give, or I guess if he checked in, they give him the same thing. I suppose, yeah.
Might be cooler.
Cheapest ticket tonight, $182.
Might be cooler if he checks in, right?
Yeah, I suppose, but I don't think that's his call as far as the ego. I think that's just whatever the coach is. Just that's what they want to do. Third clue for Film Friday. We got enough likes. Keep hitting that like button. Do subscribe. Do turn those notifications. Bust is the third clue. Returned, pretend, and bust. We got 2 more on layaway. Keep hitting that like button, and we'll get more clues dropping. We're both pretty meh about Portland, Houston, unless things change. Amen's questionable, and Smith is questionable, and then we'll see. But for now, it's 8:00. Do we leave lights on? Is the question, Bobby? Like what if we get nothing at 7? What are we doing with Houston? Are we leaving spots open?
I'm probably playing some Tari Eason at 6,400, just based on how he's projecting for me now. Like, he would be my guy that's a placeholder in the shooting guard position for Reed Shepherd. I've been trying to make Tari work for a little while now, but
yeah,
come to fruition.
He's fine now, and he can definitely, he would look better, right? But he's perfectly fine, okay-ish right now. Yeah, I don't mind that call.
I also don't have as much hero as I think I'm going to have, so that's probably why I'm slammed to Tari Eason currently. So, yeah, with the 8-man rotation for the Heat, I should be getting more hero.
I tried to sell the Heat to you, and you just weren't buying it. That's fine.
Well, I didn't re-update, Dean. So,
are you in the 555 tonight, Bobby?
Yeah, I have 4 teams.
There you go. Take that down. What's first place?
I think 50K.
All right, let's do it. Next game up, it is New Orleans and Phoenix. This is an hour after Portland and Houston. The Suns are 4 or 5 point favorites. New Orleans back half of back-to-back and traveling as far as who's in and who's out. Let's take a peek at the injury report. And why is it not opening up for me? That's unfortunate.
Mark Williams is out. Know that.
Yeah. That's not unexpected.
Yeah.
My pages are all weird. Okay. My apologies. I'm scrambling now to get everything right. Okay. So for the Suns, you mentioned Mark Williams being out. Also, one of the most popular plays on the slate. Royce O'Neal is officially questionable with his foot. Dylan Brooks, he's got a hand he ain't playing. And he got arrested too. So, yeah. All right. That doesn't matter.
He got arrested? What did he get arrested for?
DUI.
Oof.
New Orleans is fully healthy, and we're not seeing anything as far as Zion back-to-back stuff. I suppose we would know by now, but nobody of note is out for the Pels. How are you seeing New Orleans taking on Phoenix?
Yeah, it's mainly the Phoenix side. Like, I think I wrote up Oso earlier. Like, I think he's good for a double-double at 5-2. Getting a ton of Oso, I would imagine the field is as well. Gillespie, right? 6,700. I could be over on that. Like, it's just another basically situation where just the usage with Mark Williams out. Although it's not going to really help like a guard like Gillespie, it's just another body out there that you're kind of removing from the pool. So I like Gillespie. Jalen Green, 6,600. Final being slightly over the field on Jalen Green, kind of in high variance all season, so I don't want to go too crazy. Booker's going to get the Herb Jones matchup. I, for one, like Booker tonight. Done really well versus Herb Jones previously, even though it's not really a spot like we'd want to attack with wings usually, but getting a good bit of Booker. Grayson Allen, 7,300. He's significantly priced up. Well, not significantly priced up, just like 7,300, I feel like it's a lot to pay for Grayson Allen. But in this scenario with Phoenix, I can probably have where we have Grayson Allen like 2%. Like, if I'm getting 10% of Grayson Allen, I don't hate it. And Royce O'Neal would be the final one. I don't think I'm going to get too much Royce O'Neal, but it's mainly Oso, Gillespie, Green, Booker, and Allen that are going to assume a lot of ownership for me on the slate currently.
Are we over on Oso at 55%? I feel really good about him, and
me too.
I know it's a big number, and you can throw him a power. No, he's center only. It's just New Orleans. The two things that Oso does, that how he's going to get his fantasy points, scoring inside. New Orleans like top 5 as far as yielding points inside, and they're top 5 as far as yielding opponent rebounds, and that's how he gets there. Rebounds and scoring inside. So it's like a really, really solid matchup for Oso. I feel pretty good about it, and I know he's going to be popular, but probably going to be on my main team. I don't think it's a good fade, but, and then, like you said, Williams being out, there's really not much behind him. Yeah, that's probably something I'm just gonna swallow that ownership.
Yeah, I'm swallowing it too. I feel like it's probably like we're starved for value. I think he has pretty much a double-double locked up, so I like Oso even at 5-2. So, yeah, he works. If I had to say my 2 favorite plays from this game would be Oso and probably Booker. But I think the majority of Phoenix is in play tonight.
I mean, it's small sample stuff, but Booker has not been really particularly good since coming back from his injury, just 2 games. And all season long, we haven't really seen like big ceiling games out of him. He's just always kind of fine-ish, around 40 or so fantasy points. He's fine. I just, how many times does Booker just beat you? It just so rarely happens, right? Like KD's another one. Like KD just, Kevin Durant all season long, not one time does he have 60 fantasy points on DK. Not once.
Yeah.
Just a couple of these guys, good average scores. I'm fine with Booker, but I'm probably not. Again, I'm talking about focusing. This is why I'm playing LaMelo Ball. I think LaMelo Ball's got, maybe the bell curve is a little different for him. The floor might be lower for Ball, but I feel better about the upside on somebody like Ball, and I'm probably not going to be playing Booker. Let's see. We got to get those thummy thumbs. Shout out to Blender. We got to hit that like button to get the 4th clue, because I don't think we have any winners just yet. Let me take a peek at the Discord. It is not Rounders or Usual Suspects or Wolf of Wall Street or He Got Game. The Incredible Burt Wonderstone is a hilarious answer. It's not that, though. Or Baywatch or Night at the Museum or Ghostbusters. And it's also not Mask of Zorro. If you were thinking of Mask of Zorro, I'm sure a lot of you guys are. It is not Mask of Zorro or Under Siege. Don't have the winner just yet, but we keep in that like button and we'll get the 4th clue. Drop it momentarily. Get yourself a week free of premium. Who was your favorite Pell? You mentioned your 2 favorite sons. Do you just not have a favorite Pell?
It's kind of going to be an off the board one. I like DeJounte Murray. He's just been playing well. We have him for 26 minutes. I'd like to see him get a little bit more than that. But it would definitely be DeJounte Murray followed by Sadiq. We have them flipped in ownership. With DeJounte Murray at 12%, Sadiq at 14%. I prefer Murray. There isn't much outside of that. Like I really love, like not playing Zion, Troy Murphy, not really interested in. No Herb Jones for me, so it's mainly the Phoenix side.
The Murray minutes since coming back, 25, 26, 22. That was a blowout, 28. That's kind of where we're at. Okay, there's 2 more games to go. We'll get to those momentarily. I do want to mention Pick Labs, the newest RotoGrinders feature. It lets you scan the best player prop and pick 'em bets in just seconds. Everything is broken down for you, from edges to win rates to value. You're going to be looking at a clean board that shows which plays actually stand out across not just sports books, but also sites like Underdog and Prize Picks. Look at TJ's got it for us. He's got it pulled up for the people. When you see something you like, Pick Labs builds the slip and sends it straight to the book of your choice. I'm not sure if TJ's capable of picking things out or not. I don't know if Pick Labs or if this is things. Yeah, I would imagine it's compatible with all sorts of Canadian sites. TJ, do you have or he's building something for us right now? What is he building? TJ, jump on here. I think it's Jason Tatum and I got to zoom in. Is that Queen?
I have nothing to jump on and say. I was just putting in the expert picks that are there.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. Less than. So is that less Tatum 3s or is that points? I cannot see that. I got to zoom in. PRA. Okay, less than 19.5 PRA. And Derek Queen, we're betting less than 11.5 points and assists. Man, I don't know why they're not playing him more. I'm confused by it, but why not? Just develop the kid. But and Baylor Shireman, we're assuming he takes the hit with Tatum being back. Although we did lose, I don't know how much it matters, but we did lose what's his name? Walsh, officially out for Boston. RotoGrinders.com/PickLabs. That's where you'll find that tool to help you with, again, not just player props on places like sportsbooks, but also Underdog, Prize Picks, that world. Should also mention NASCAR. NASCAR projections are live for the 2026 season, including projections from RotoDoc and Stevie. You'll get access to articles and videos on RG breaking down every race. The Lineup HQ optimizer, Lineup HQ tool, you'll see it on the screen as TJ's been showing off throughout the show. It comes preloaded with player and ownership projections for just trucks, not just trucks, but NOAPS and the Cup Series. Additionally, you'll get access to Stevie's betting picks, as well as exclusive access to the NASCAR channel in the RotoGrinders Discord. Most of our Discord channels are free. That one you got to be a part of the NASCAR club there. Okay, 2 more games to go. New York and Denver. 229.5 is a total. New York is a 1.5 point favorite. Denver playing the back half of a back-to-back. We're not certain about Josh Hart. Josh Hart officially questionable with his back. We have not seen Miles McBride for a long time. We may see the return of Aaron Gordon. He's officially questionable with his hamstring. Cam Johnson also questionable with his ankle. Peyton Watson still out with his hammy. How you feeling about Denver and New York, Bobby?
Yeah, Denver and New York. For me, like I said, I really like Brunson tonight. I think it's a really good matchup for him versus Denver. They've had problems with guarding the point guard, so for me, it's a little boost to Brunson. Joker's the tough one, like 12-5. Do we have the value to get up, I guess, with Myron Gardner at 3K? Like that's how you're gonna have to make that work. I don't think I'm gonna have a lot of Joker on my teams tonight at the end of the day. Josh Hart, Q tag. I think in that scenario, what do we have? Do we have where's the if then for Hart? Biggest boost, Brunson, Towns, Bridges. They're not really big boosts from a value perspective.
It's all incremental stuff. Yeah. Like Landry Shamet is the guy that will probably start. I don't know if that necessarily means like someone anybody thrilled about. Diawara probably gets a little bit more of an opportunity at least. But like nobody gets like, Alvarado might get a little bit boost as far as opportunity. But Shamet's the guy that we're projecting 29 minutes for. But he's not a great usage player. He's not a great fantasy point meta player. But, he is, 3.8. So maybe he could be useful. But I'm not leaving the light on for it. I don't know if you are. Just, if we get news and all of a sudden at like 6:30 or so, maybe I'll consider someone like Shamet to kind of make stuff work or, talk about playing a guy like Joker. But I'm not playing guys at 7 or 7:30 because I'm waiting for Josh Hart to get ruled out so I can play Shamet. That makes sense.
Yeah, I get it. For me, like the one that like a wing, I'd be more interested in like, I know Shamet and OG aren't the same price, but OG at 6,600, Hart gets ruled out. Denver's had trouble with wings. So him or Bridges, I think, would make more sense. And yeah, I don't want to play any Landry Shamet personally.
Gordon would help their defense if he's back tonight, for what it's worth. I don't just sort of throwing it out there, but I'm not saying I would shy away from New York stuff. Just we'll make their defense a little bit better if they get Gordon back. I think they are going to get him back too. At least that was kind of the rumor. He's officially questionable. Collier out tomorrow. We don't care about tomorrow, but I think Utah plays like Indiana tomorrow, something goofy like that. So, yeah, don't be surprised at that game. We have no real tank games in the slate, which I think that's nice to see. I was looking at the slate, and I guess Dallas is kind of sort of tanking, but it takes care of itself. They don't need to tank. It's just going to happen. They're going to lose. But this slate, the Pacers, we don't care about that one. That's not our slate. They're trying to lose, and that probably takes care of itself against the Lakers, I assume. Although the Lakers, not great. Yeah, so we actually have teams trying to win, which is refreshing, I guess. Don usually saying New Orleans is not tanking. They don't have their draft pick. They're not tanking. They're just not good.
They're just not good, yeah.
Yeah, they're playing their guys. Like Zion's mostly playing. He played. I'm not sure if that streak ended, but I think he played 35 straight games. Zion. He still might be in that streak right now. Actually, he's been playing. Basically, he's playing every game. Yeah, you could say they're tanking for rostering out DeAndre Jordan, but again, they gave up their pick. Their pick is Derek Queen. So, yeah, they don't. They're not tanking. It goes to Atlanta, I believe. Okay, Doug saying he missed one recently. Okay, there was a pick. He did have a 35-game streak before that, which I missed. My apologies, but the point is still the point. New York, Denver. Is this one of the games that we're kind of excited about, or not so much? I say not so much. Hopefully, Joker doesn't put up 90, which he can.
Yeah, it's very scary. It's very scary to be under on Joker tonight, but I think that's probably the move for me. Like I said, Jalen Brunson at 9K, I think, is someone who could win you a tournament on today's slate.
Where do we got to refresh as far as ownership stuff. I want to see if anything's changed significantly. Fire up the lineup HQ. Gardner's gone down to 51%, which again I still think that's too high on D. This is DK to be clear. Not even close to that on FanDuel. Oso's at 40%. Ware is at 40%. Isaiah Jackson is 37%. Jeez, we'll talk about that in a second. Ugh.
I'm getting a ton of Jackson, and I don't love it.
Well, I mean, we'll talk about it, but that's because Conan's out, right? We'll have the conversation, and he's basically going to play the Conan role, I suppose. Yeah, shall we just scoot along and talk about the hammer that is the Clippers and the Spurs? Oh, before we do that, clue number 4. We got enough likes. Get the Discord channel. Tell me what film I'm talking about here. The 4th clue is scrolling as we speak. Film Friday. Return. Clue number 1. Return. Pretend. Bust. High school. Like, come on. We don't need the 5th clue, do we? I feel like I made this one kind of easy. Somebody's going to get this. And if not, we have a 5th clue, which will definitely get you home. But you might need a fast finger to get today's Film Friday. There you go. We got a winner. The Discord channel. It's not Field of Dreams. It's not Superman Returns. It's not Blue Chips. We do have a winner. We'll talk about it in a second. Shout out to what people are going to say it's rigged, Bobby. This is going to be the next big breakdown on your favorite YouTube channel. We want Dean just won. So, like, come on. Like, this is like super, right? You know, bust out your tinfoil hat for that one.
What was the movie?
Well, we haven't said it just yet, but okay. We'll make it clear after this game, in case people are still playing the home version. Clippers Spurs 221.5. This is the back half of the ESPN doubleheader. Clippers are without some players tonight, namely John Collins. He's got a neck. We talked about Darius Garland being out with his toe. Yannick Conan Niederhauser. We just learned his name. We just loved his name, and now he's gone. He's no longer with us. He's gone for the rest of the season. As far as the Spurs, the only person that's questionable is Julian Champagny. Harry Barnes is still out. Harry Barnes had that streak of 350 or 360, something odd games broken yesterday. Harry Barnes has an ankle, so he's not playing basketball. He did get, what did Wemby play last night? I feel like he played close to 40 minutes. What's the official number? 39. Yeah, he played 39 minutes last night versus Detroit. He fully broke that slate with a 76-burger, 38-16, taking on Brook Lopez and the Clippers. Kawhi, I don't know. Is he a revenge guy? He's played plenty of games in San Antonio since leaving San Antonio. How are you feeling about the Clippers and the Spurs? And you said you were getting a lot of Isaiah Jackson. You know, he was an interesting player on the Pacers, always a good fantasy point guard player, really volatile, really handsy. You never really know how many minutes he's going to play, but we're assuming he steps into that Conan role. What do we give him, like 17 minutes or so? I'm guessing. By the way, Bogdanovich is questionable. We're giving him 9 minutes. He doesn't play a heck of a lot, but I guess that's of note in some ways. Jackson, we're giving 20 minutes too. Oh, okay. 20 minutes to Jackson. Yeah, Clippers, Spurs, what do you got?
Yeah, Jackson should see backup minutes behind Brook Lopez. So his fantasy point per minute rate, like we said at the beginning of the show, we're pretty starved for value. He's someone that makes things work, whether he's good chalk or bad chalk. Currently leaning good chalk, but I just think you're playing him and hopefully he hits a ceiling outcome. Like Derek Jones Jr. is also in play at 4,900 just because of the minutes he's going to see in the scenario.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm usually not playing Derek Jones Jr., but
same.
I think in this spot with how the value is, he's someone that you have to consider on the slate.
0.76 fantasy points per minute. It's just not terribly exciting, but he should play 30 minutes. That's what we currently have him. Continue. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, Benedict Mathurin at 6,400, shooting guard, small forward eligible. I think he's in play. If I was playing 150, he'd be someone I'd consider. The main one for me, and the guy who outside of the value pieces is the best play, is Kawhi Leonard. From a matchups perspective, it's not the greatest situation, but just because he's going to see like the most amount of usage at 9,500. I think he's probably the second best spend on the slate outside of Joker. That's the Clippers for you. And basically going to the San Antonio side, Dylan Harper played good the other night, 4,500. I think you can consider him. Fox had a good game last night. Do I think he has a good game in back-to-back games? I could take enough of a shot. He's like in my pool. Do I love it? No, probably be under the field. No interest in really Champagny. Keldon Johnson at 4,300 is someone people are going to consider, and I think he's a guy you can take at the field just because that price is so low and we're so starved for value. And then the big one, just kind of sorting through, Wemby, like he's obviously always can break a slate. I would imagine we only have him at 13% owned. Like he's someone you can
expensive.
Get less than Joker. I currently don't have a lot of Wemby, but that could change. It's more about if we have the value. I think I'm building more balance tonight too, as well. So getting up to these big spends like Joker and Wemby have been kind of difficult for me throughout the day. Maybe you have a different take on Wemby.
I feel the same way, where I would love to have Joker. I would love to have Wemby. I haven't officially built anything. I don't start building until after the show. But I do not anticipate getting either one in my main lineup just because of salary concerns. Yeah, of course, you always want to play these guys, but I just don't know if I'm prioritizing them. And it's no besmirch. I'd be thrilled to play.
To get to.
It's just tough. And then you're relying on some stuff that's pretty dicey. You know, we talked about Myron Gardner for Miami. Doesn't feel amazing. I'm really not – I don't know what to do with Isaiah Jackson. If you told me I was getting 20 minutes, I'm interested. Because, you know, he's a guy that can compile fantasy points. I don't know how those minutes are.
Guy, so, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's 1.17. He's better than one, right? He's really strong. But, you know, we haven't really seen this situation yet. They didn't trade for him. I don't know if they necessarily wanted him, or I don't recall the situation as to why or how he was. Was it straight up? How was he acquired necessarily with Indiana? Oh, that was the Zubac. He was just probably because to make the money work, I would imagine. I don't know if they actually even want him. It was just sort of, you know, how you have to make trades in the NBA. Let's see. Anything else of note as far as you mentioned some of the fringe players for the Spurs. They all kind of got incremental bumps from yesterday. You know, the absence of Barnes has opened a step up a little bit, an extra minute or two for Keldon, an extra minute or two for Harper.
Was that the best game Fox has had literally all year last night?
Yeah, you know, I mean, if San Antonio didn't know this, but if they wouldn't have, they probably don't want Fox on their team. Like they didn't know they were going to get Castle, right? If they knew they were going to win the lottery, or what they won the lottery, they get the number one pick, they get the number 2 and number 3, right? What do you got, TJ?
After you guys are done this last game, before we swap over to crunch time, I know it's not a position by position show, but just related to the Myron Gardner conversation,
power forward,
having a chat of just like power forward in general, because it might be the worst position I have seen this entire year.
That is part of the reason why. It has to be part of the reason why, or a good chunk of the reason why. People are just saying screw it, or at least the optimals are just saying screw it, just take Gardner because there's no good play as a power forward on DK. That's probably what's happening. We can do that. Yeah.
I have one that I like, but it's more of a large field tournament play.
OG?
I think OG's fine. Yeah, he's probably my highest owned currently. But like a cheaper guy, I think Hauser is very interesting at 4,800.
Okay.
Like just in the context of this slate from a tournament perspective, I would imagine no one's going to play Sam Hauser, but
no, like 1%. Yeah. He's not going to get played. I'm looking at power forward. I'm sorting by like point per dollar, and Gardner's a 5x play, and we're giving him 16 fantasy points, and you can just punt it off and get it out, I suppose. To be clear, Gardner was like not in the rotation yesterday. I understand Wiggins is out, so we're assuming he jumps into the rotation. He played like the last 20 seconds or so of the game, and he gets some run occasionally, but not really. He's not really a rotation guy. I'm not certain he gets 18 minutes. That's my concern. Like there could be a quarter and a half into the game, and he's not on the court at any point. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I just think it's possible. They just sort of cut it down to 8-ish, right, with Miami. And this game is, I think, a game they really want to win against Charlotte. Mitchell, Hero, Larson, Ware, Bam. Jaime Yakachonis and Drew Smith could be their 8. And maybe if Gardner plays 8 minutes, I wouldn't be shocked. He's certainly going to play 20. If this game gets ugly, he would certainly mop up as well. But just I'm throwing it out there. If he does play 18 minutes, though, Bobby, that's possibly usable, right? because power forward is so bad. I don't hate that approach. Maybe there's not one power forward that plays great when you consider salary.
I don't think that there is really. Yeah, Myron Gardner's power forward eligible 3K. It's a scary play for me. You did say Heater down to like 8 men, right? So
no. I mean, they have 11, but I think that there's a chance they might have an 8-man rotation.
Yeah.
And he's the 9th guy. And I'm not saying he's not going to play, but there's a chance. There's a chance he barely plays. So I don't know. It is the back half of back.
I would just rather play someone with more secure minutes. It's tough to find though. At the power forward.
I don't hate the idea. I apologize. I can't quote who said it in chat, but I don't hate the idea of if Josh Hart's out going with some Diawara, just because he's a good point per minute producer as like a straight line pivot, only $200 more. Don't feel good about it, but like if Gardner plays 14 minutes and Diawara plays 18 with no Hart, something like that, Diawara is probably the one who outscores him.
Yeah.
It is interesting how they just power forward, and we're not getting like if Isaiah Jackson was power forward center eligible, he'd be popping like crazy, but he's not. So he's not. He is popping for center. We do have crunch time coming in here shortly. I know Noto's coming in. TJ's going to jump on and give analysis and host the show. The fifth clue, since we already got a winner. Shout out to We Want Dean, our favorite, of course. There was no shenanigans going on there. The fifth clue was leap. Our 5 clues were return, pretend, bust, high school, and leap. Does that help you, Bobby? Does that get you there? Return, pretend, bust, high school, leap.
It didn't get me there. No.
All right. So who is returning tonight, Bobby? Who's returning?
Tatum.
Jason Tatum. Okay. So now, is there an actor that might have a similar name to Jason Tatum?
I don't know. Channing Tatum?
There you go. And I'm like, we got to do a Channing Tatum movie. Shout out Channing Tatum. So, Channing Tatum, return. Pretend. This was also a TV show like many, many years ago, too. But, yes, return, pretend. The answer is 21 Jump Street. Have you seen 21 Jump Street? It's a fun movie.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah. Pretend that they go undercover. They're pretending they're cops in a high school. There's high school. My favorite clue was bust because it's a double clue. They're trying to, there's drug shenanigans going on in the high school. They're trying to bust. They're cops. And you play blackjack before? You play blackjack before, right? It's also called 21. If you get over 21, what is that called? Bust. It's a double clue, Bobby. It's a double clue.
Yeah, Dave Franco was really good in that movie.
Yeah. Dave Franco is good. And it's a really good cast, actually. Ice Cube's in it, I think, is their boss, if I'm not mistaken. Leap, of course, 21 Jump Street. And, it takes place in high school. And check it out if you like a comedy.
Gregorius the Wise said no minutes limit for Tatum tonight.
Is that a question mark? Or is that...
I would imagine.
One reporter just reported that.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Somebody earlier in the day said, piecing together based on what some Boston coaches have said, it looks like his minutes limit will be around 20 minutes. And then Jorge Sedano of ESPN just reported that he will have no minutes restrictions.
That's not true. That can't be true.
There's no way they're playing.
He's not playing 36 minutes tonight. It's incorrect.
Yeah.
No minutes restrictions might mean they have a plan for him today. And that, you know what I mean? They're just something they're going to ease him back in with, but he's not going out there for playing 36 minutes today.
Yeah, he's not playing 30. Maybe
that means 24 though.
He could play 24.
That means maybe he play 24. Very viable on FanDuel.
I still won't play him on DK and AK if it's 25 minutes. You guarantee me 25 minutes, but you can't guarantee me. He's still not a good play at AK on DK.
Probably a cash game playing FanDuel though. Definitely a cash game playing FanDuel.
But cash, what if he plays 20 minutes? I guess 20 minutes is fine, I think. What if he's rusty? right? What if he's passive? I don't know, man. But FanDuel's certainly in play at that price. But I still will not play him. And to say it's no minutes limit, maybe it's semantics or whatever, but I just can't imagine like he's going to go out there and play 32 minutes. That just doesn't make any sense. Bobby, we have Noto coming here shortly. Let me know, TJ, when Noto is knocking on the door, but I do need the Plums play. Who you feeling the Plums?
I'm gonna go Jalen Brunson.
I'm gonna go. Let's see. I got to pick somebody from Miami, Charlotte. I don't want to pick somebody super obvious. So, Miller is like my favorite play, but that's the obvious. I'm gonna say LaMelo, who I don't think is going to be played in the single entry stuff that I kind of focus on. He's probably going to be like 5% or less. And yeah, I mean, Ware is going to be super popular. Larson's going to be popular. Hawkes as well. Yeah, LaMelo is my feel it in the Plums play because he's just not going to be played, I don't think, especially in single entry and smaller field stuff. Okay, Bobby, we are going to transition here to crunch time, I believe. TJ, is Noto good to go here as far as is Noto camera ready?
No, but I mean, change to me.
Oh, okay. you are camera ready.
Camera troubles right now. I'm trying to disconnect it, reconnect it, kind of thing.
I gotcha. No problem. Bobby, you got anything else as far as a slate? Anything else we're monitoring? I don't think we have any news coming on through outside of the report that Jason Tatum. I mean, I hate to just say like, no, that report's wrong, but that can't be right. Like, yeah, I mean, there is going to be some limit.
It says he will have no minute restrictions, and to me that means like that's cute language for it's not a restriction. We're just only going to play him 20 minutes until he's in game shape. Like I don't know, I don't buy it.
Did you see the clip when they asked Mazzulla about Tatum like practicing maybe 10 days ago or so, and he just like gave him he stared at the reporter and refused to answer? I mean, Bobby knows, but I'm sure Bobby, you've seen Mazzulla. Maybe he's been in the restaurant. If you cross paths with Mazzulla, he seems like a kind of a wild man. He's like,
he goes to my church. He goes to my church.
Well, there you go. Okay, is he? Yeah. You ever say anything to him about the Tatum's minutes in church?
No, I haven't said anything.
Doesn't come up. Okay. All right. I didn't know I was going to get a story with you knowing Mazzulla. There you go. But
I don't know him. I've never approached him. But yeah,
sure.
My church. Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. Let's see what's he transition. Crunch time right now. What up, Notorious? How are things? You're the only person getting added to the show. TJ's been producing the entire time, kind of bouncing back and forth in front and behind the proverbial glass. Noto, not sure if you've heard, word in the street that Jason Tatum has no minutes limit. That's not right?
Yeah, that's interesting. What are you guys thinking for his minutes then?
20?
I think if I was on the projections team, I would put it at 22. That would be my...
There's just no reason to push him.
No, why would you even consider it? No minutes restriction is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they did jump up from 15 to 18 earlier. Let us know in chat. Chat, let us know. Give us the number. What would you guess? What would you project for Tatum minutes tonight? I see 24. Yeah, like I wouldn't go any higher than 24 as a median projection personally. 22 maybe. I'm not sure. But it's no longer our problem. It's the projection team's not problem. It's Mazzulla's problem. It's also a blowout too. It's like, I don't know, maybe they just like they're going to play him X number of minutes and that's that, no matter how the game was played out. Gregorius is saying 38. I don't know if I'll take the under on 38. Bobby, anything else before we get out of here? Before you got to peek outside, you can see the crowd. The crowd walking to Boston, I would imagine, walking to the.
I can't. I don't face the street, but yeah.
Oh well, never mind then. You could have played along and nobody would have known any differently. We would have no idea. But that was Bobby. I was Dean. Hit that like button. Do subscribe. Turn on those notifications. You got TJ and Noto hold it down for the next 39 minutes. TJ, it's all yours.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to NBA Crunch Time here, RotoGrinders. I'm your host, TJ Zwarych. Joining me, we got one of the sharpest minds in the biz. You know, you love him. It's Derek Farnsworth, Notorious. Noto, how you doing?
Yeah, doing good. My camera is not working, so I'm just using my laptop camera. So kind of awkward angle up into the nostrils. But yeah, doing good. Happy Friday, everyone. And another interesting NBA slate, if we want to call it that.
Oh, speaking of, we're just getting some news coming in as we speak. Amen Thompson will play Jabari Smith, a game time decision. I mean, hey, look, it's tough to look good from a upward angle, but you're somehow still managing to make it work. So kudos to you for that one. We obviously talked a little bit of this Jason Tatum stuff through. We'll see if his minutes update based on that news, but I think the projections team is kind of on the same page as us that we think that report's kind of BS. I personally would probably put it into the low 20s, but I would say virtually a 0% chance that he plays above 30 minutes today. Could be totally wrong, but I can't see it happening. Noto, why don't you give us your thoughts on today's slate, because we don't have much value, and power forward on DraftKings might be the worst position I have seen this entire season.
Yeah, it feels like the last 4 or 5 slates with Jokic on it. It's just been play Jokic and play all the good value plays, but we can't really do that tonight. We don't have a lot of good value, so I'm kind of scrambling a little bit. So yeah, I'll be making my main lineup while we're on the show. But yeah, it's a tougher slate than usual, which I like. I like the tougher slates. I like the tougher pricing. So it's a nice break from the stars and scrubs slates that we've had for weeks now.
Yeah, I'm with you because of just the scramble nature of this slate with nothing looking that good, and I don't really know what I want to do for sure. Plus, with producing and hosting on Crunch Time, I'm taking your DFS route today. I'm playing one lineup, just one single entry lineup, not messing around with the 150 just because it felt like a few too many things on the plate. So I'm just running out one lineup today as well. We will go position by position, starting on DK. We will do DK first, FanDuel second, then we will take your questions. Make sure you get your questions into the RotoGrinders live stream Discord chat. That's where I'll be looking first. Then you can get them into the YouTube chat as well. I will go to YouTube after we have covered all the ones in Discord. You can sign up for our Discord, rotogrinders.com/Discord, and make sure you are hitting that like button. YouTube, that's all we ask. It's free content on a Friday night. All we ask is that you give that like button a little click for us. I saw somebody asking for me to do my little tutorial bit, and so you know what, why not? If you're on a computer, it's easy. You just slide your mouse over, you give it a little click. If you are watching on your phone or tablet, I get it, it's hard, it's confusing, because if you pull up YouTube, what do? There's no like button there. Hey, there we are right at the top, but I click YouTube, I click the video, guess what, all I see is chatters. I don't see a like button. Easy peasy. You click the X in the top right hand corner, you give it a little click. Help us out. Free content on a Friday. Noto, DK, position by position, starting at the point guard spot. We do not have a single positive RG value play at the point guard position today. Who do you like? Who are the cash game plays, and how do you plan on going about this spot?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say too, is power forward is ugly, but point guard's pretty ugly too. There's not one guy that I feel great about. Jalen Brunson projects the best, has a pretty high floor, decent enough matchup against Denver. He's had at least 40 in 4 straight games. So, I'm fine with Brunson, but it's not like we're have a bunch of value to make it work easily. So, I've kind of put Devin Booker in that same group, in that he's got a high floor, but I worry about the ceiling a little bit. It does help that Brooks is out, Goodwin's out, Mark Williams is out. So, maybe he can get a few more shots up tonight. Then you have the upside guy in LaMelo Ball, who can get you 30, can get you 60. I do like that this is a pace-up game for Charlotte. They've been playing really well, but they play at a slow pace. So hopefully Miami can increase the tempo in that game. I think he's one of the better tournament plays on the board. We have him at 10% ownership right now, which is nice. And then I like DeJounte Murray. I know this is a back-to-back, and he's been playing limited minutes, but he's been great since returning from injury. He can fill up the stat sheet. I don't mind the matchup tonight against Phoenix. They're pretty good defensively, but they're missing some guys. They're missing their best, on-ball defender in Dylan Brooks. So I think DeJounte is interesting. And then we have Tyler Hero at 7,400. I think he sees a boost with Powell out, and Wiggins. Is Wiggins out or doubtful still?
Out, I believe.
So yeah, so he should see a nice boost there. We have him at less than 10% ownership. There's not any good value plays. I kind of think Dylan Harper's interesting. This is a back-to-back for the Spurs. If you look at their game last night, their starters played a ton of minutes, and I think Harper could see 26 to 28 minutes in this one with this being a back-to-back. He's a young guy, should have fresh legs. And 4.5 is pretty good for a guy that, he's had 27 plus in 3 of his last 5. So he's probably my favorite value play. But what else are you looking at in point guard?
Well, Melo Ball is my favorite play as well. If I'm looking at the range of like Booker, Ball, Brunson, Murray, I think Ball is my favorite by a pretty significant margin. Like in a cash game, if I landed in the range, sure, maybe I'd go Brunson, but I like Ball significantly better than him tonight. I don't think we get a ceiling performance 2 games in a row, but De'Aaron Fox still too cheap with that price tag. Don't mind getting to him. Colin Gillespie, I like quite a bit today. I'm kind of torn right now in a 2v2 of Colin Gillespie and Kawhi Leonard or LaMelo Ball and Tyler Hero. I think I'm going to go the Ball Hero side, but that was kind of the 2v2 I was looking at in my main lineup. And then I don't know. There's not really any of these cheap punt guys that I like, if I'm being honest. It's all pretty gross here at the position. I'd probably stick in the mid-range. Reed Shepherd obviously would have been a lot better if we would have had Amen Thompson out, but I do still think he's viable. Like, not that we want to be game log watching, but he just comes out off the bench and slings. And if he gets hot from 3, as we can see, he's got some big ceiling performances in him. So Reed Shepherd for GPPs, even though Amen Thompson is playing, I think he is totally viable here as well. We make the pivot over to shooting guard, and this is where, kind of surprisingly, I always feel weird seeing Kawhi Leonard at the shooting guard position. Like, it seems like he should have small forward, power forwards to me, not shooting guard, but I'll take it. I got no problem with it. I do think he is from like a cash perspective, the best spend up. I probably want to get one of these Clippers wings on my team, with it either being Leonard or Mathurin. I was looking at both. Right now, I just do have it with Mathurin, though. I like Knipple. And then I think the Josh Hart being questionable thing is very interesting, because if he is out, I think it really raises somebody like OG Anunoby, which I guess is at another position. But I think it also raises somebody like Diawara as a value play at the power forward spot as well. So Josh Hart's Q tag, something I want to keep an eye on.
Yeah, for sure. I like Kawhi. I have him tagged as a core play right now. You get the increased usage without Garland. He's been pretty solid over the last few weeks. And then, a little bit of a revenge narrative. He seems like a pretty spiteful guy, if I do say so myself. So I think Kawhi is my favorite spend on the board. And it's a little bit easier if he's your most expensive guy, because there's not a lot of good value plays, like we've mentioned. Mathurin's interesting, though, man. His usage rate's been elite over the last couple weeks, and he's been playing more minutes. He's played at least 30 minutes in 5 of the last 7 games. So, if he gets above 30 minutes, I think he's in a really good spot. And again, San Antonio coming off of that big game last night, they could be playing on some tired legs. So it's not a great matchup on paper, but I think it helps that it's a back-to-back. Outside of that, there's not a lot that I love. I mean, Larson's a good cash game play. He should see 30 minutes tonight. He's been playing pretty well recently. Grayson Allen's been playing well, but I don't want to pay 7.3 for him. Again, I like Dylan Harper at 4.5. I think he's probably my favorite value play at guard. And one other note, DeJounte Murray didn't play last night. I said that he was playing in the back-to-back, but we don't have to worry about his minutes because he didn't play last night. So I like him even more than I mentioned at point guard.
All right, take us over to small forward.
All right, so you got Kawhi here. I'm surprised he's not getting a bunch of ownership. 17% seems really reasonable to me. And then Mathurin coming in at 28%. I like both. Like you mentioned, I think getting at least one of them in each lineup makes a lot of sense. Brandon Miller should be popular. High usage rate. Pace that matchup against Miami. He is pretty volatile, so I probably prefer him in tournaments rather than cash games, even though he's kind of projecting as a cash game play right now. Sadiq Bey's always got some upside. If you look at his game log, so many 40-plus fantasy point outings over the last few weeks. He's got a lot of floor games as well, but I do like that upside for tournaments. Yeah, Jaquez, who I never seem to get him right. Every time I like him, he puts up one of his duds. Every time I don't, he plays well. But they're short-handed tonight. Pat to 30 minutes. He's been playing pretty well the last couple games, so no issue with Jaquez in any formats. You got Larson here. Do you have any interest in Jalen Green? Nobody's playing him. The minutes have been up the last couple games, and they're obviously missing Brooks and Goodwin.
In theory, yes, but I'm not. I mean, if I was playing more lineups, I'd have him for sure. But I just have a tough time with it because, and I know you're not supposed to feel this way, but he's burned me too many times recently where I've gone, hey, he's shooting a bunch of shots. His minutes are trending up. He's not going to shoot terribly forever. And when he doesn't shoot terribly, he's probably going to have a good game. And then he just continues to shoot terribly. And so I do get the play for sure. Personally, not getting there. I think of the above 9K guys, Kawhi is definitely my favorite, but Brandon Miller, my top choice at the position. Don't mind the mid-tier. I'm with you. Jaquez, Mathurin, probably my two favorites. Going cheaper, Pele Larson is the guy. I don't know how much cheaper I get than Pele Larson. Like, I think that's probably the cheapest I want to go at this position. But the one thing I'll say before we transition to power forward, you need to be playing two small forwards today because power forward is just so wildly weak. We did just get the Miami starting lineup and Myron Gardner is in it. And so that should secure his minutes a little bit more because instead of being like, the 16 to 18 minutes, whatever it was we were projecting off the bench, that was probably an 18 to 20 minute ceiling. Now starting that 18 minutes is probably looking closer to a minute floor. So Myron Gardner, he's going to be mega chalky as we transition here to the power forward spot. But I kind of think that's worthwhile now that he is in the starting lineup. What do you think of Gardner? What are your thoughts of power forward?
Yeah, we have him at 51% ownership, and then I think that's before the starting news. So that's probably going to go up even higher. He's 3K. He's been pretty good when he's been given minutes. I mean, he's had 30 plus in each of the last or 4 of the last 5 games that he's played 20 minutes. So, yeah, probably the best value play on the board, not necessarily a guy I want to fade, especially in cash game, small field stuff. So, yeah, I'm playing Gardner. And then to your point, the rest of the power forward position is pretty weak. I do like Anunoby a little bit, especially if Hart ends up being out. Look at his game log. He's shooting a bunch of shots, shooting a lot of threes. He's just not making very many right now. And if you get Hart off the floor, get a better shooting performance, I think he could have a nice game. Outside of that, Sadiq Bey is a good large field tournament play, but very volatile. I struggle with the types like Derek Jones Jr. that they're going to play 30 minutes, but what are they really going to give you at 4.9? So I don't know. Same with Herbert Jones. Yeah, I don't really love a lot. So I'm playing Gardner. I think that kind of just solves the puzzle at power forward.
Yeah, I'm with you as well. Somebody I was very comfortable fading before we got this news of him in the starting lineup. But now that he's in there, definitely not somebody that I'm quite as comfortable fading. Large field stuff, I might even get close to just hitting the lock button there. Outside of him, I really like the idea of punting with Diawara. Like if Josh Hart was going to be out, because say those minutes bump up to say 18, 20 for him. If we put it to 18, all of a sudden those projections aren't that different. And I think he could beat him. Now with him in the starting lineup though, I just don't really trust it. If we happen to get Champagny out for San Antonio, I think that would make somebody like, although I think he's actually just shooting guard small forward for some reason, I think that would make a guy like Keldon Johnson pretty interesting in this game. I know Bobby liked Sam Hauser as a large field tournament play. And then I think OG would look a little bit better if Hart's out. Zion, always high ceiling play. As we get to center, Khalil Ware was the chalkiest play at this position. He is now coming off the bench today. What are you doing with Ware? I think that for sure solidifies Iguodaro as the top play if you're just picking one. But what are your thoughts on the Ware, Iguodaro, Isaiah Jackson situation where they're going to be combined 120% owned today?
Yeah, it's kind of tough. I originally was going to play both Ware and Iguodaro in my main lineup, just play 2 centers and, move on. But I don't know. I don't think it hurts Ware too much. I still think he has a path for minutes in the high 20s. It's just the minute floor is probably a little bit lower now that he's not starting. It will help on the ownership front, though. So he's probably better in tournaments now, a little bit worse in cash games is kind of the way I would look at it with him coming off the bench. Iguodaro, he's like not a huge per minute guy, but he averaged 0.89 FanDuel points per minute. I think it's 0.85 on DraftKings. And he should see 30 minutes with Mark Williams out. So he's kind of the easy click for me. Pelicans, one of the worst rebounding teams in the NBA too, which is nice. I love Jokic, but I'm having a hard time getting there. Wemby coming off of a 38-minute game, that kind of worries me in a back-to-back. So I was hoping he would be more popular, but at 10% ownership, I guess he's a little bit interesting. And Isaiah Jackson, I don't know. Do we need him now that Gardner is starting?
I don't know that we really do. I think For what it's worth, I would be setting a rule if I was still running 150 lineups. I'm not. I'm just doing the one. But if I were running 150 lineups, I'd be setting a rule of at least one of Khalil Ware or Myron Gardner in every single lineup. Because to me, if Gardner fails and he only plays like 14 minutes, it's because Ware played a ton. And if Ware fails, I think it's because Gardner ended up playing like 26, 27. And so that's probably, there we go. Looks like we just got a bit of an update. That's probably how I'd handle it, is maybe not a max one, but definitely a min one. And then I'd do like a max 2 of Ware at a bio Gardner, I think is probably how I'd handle that one. But outside of those three, I'm with you. I don't think we really need to go to Isaiah Jackson anymore. Of the spend ups, Jokic is definitely the best, but he's super tough to get to with the lack of value. I'm not really finding, I'm always a Wemby stan, but I'm not finding myself getting there today. I think Klingon's interesting. I think Bam is very interesting at low ownership. I usually don't like Bam, but at 2%, I could definitely find myself getting there. And then in terms of some cheap pivots, I don't really know that I have any. I'm probably just sticking with the chalky guys of Iguodaro and Ware. Let's make the swap over to FanDuel. But before we do, I want to make sure I tell the people about Pick Labs. It's the newest tool here at RotoGrinders, newest feature that lets you scan the best player prop and pick them bets in second. Everything is broken down for you, from edges and win rates to value. It's a clean board showing which plays actually stand out across sportsbooks and sites like Underdog and Prize Picks. When you see something you like, Pick Labs builds the slip and sends it straight to the book of your choice. You can find Pick Labs at rotogrinders.com/picklabs. You'll be wondering how this wasn't a thing already. Plus, NASCAR projections are live for the 2026 season, including projections from RotoDoc and Stevie TPFL. You'll get access to articles and videos on RotoGrinders breaking down each race. The Lineup HQ Optimizer will come preloaded with player and ownership projections for the Trucks, NOAPS, and Cup Series. Additionally, you'll receive access to Stevie's betting picks, as well as exclusive access to the NASCAR channel in the RotoGrinders Discord. FanDuel, point guard. Biggest difference over here to me, Noto, is the fact that Jason Tatum is $3,000 more expensive, but we will get there $3,000 cheaper, but we will get there when we get to the forward positions. FanDuel, point guard, still nobody above, still nobody in the positive RG value. Who do you like? Oh, you are muted.
There we go. Yeah, I got my laptop in front of my big screen. Hard to see this over here. Yeah, I think Tyler Hero is a lot more interesting on FanDuel. I think he's $400, $500 cheaper than he was on DraftKings. And again, Powell's out. Wiggins is out. So with limited guys, he's going to play minutes in the 30s. Not the best matchup, but I think he is solid in all formats. Outside of that, I mean, I'm fine with Booker. He's just not a high ceiling guy. He's top 50 fantasy points, I think, once since November, but 8K is a pretty good price point. Brunson's fine too, kind of in that same boat. I like Brunson a little bit more than Booker if I'm choosing between the two. LaMelo, always viable. As we talked about it, pace-up matchup against Miami. He's like one of the, I don't see a 60-point game from Brunson or Booker, but I could see it from LaMelo. So in tournaments, I prefer him over those two. That's pretty much it for me. I mean, Davion Mitchell's a little bit more interesting over here, 4.6. He should see minutes in the high 20s with them being so shorthanded. Don't mind that. And then Jalen Green, again, large field tournaments. I don't mind going to him.
Denny Avdia and Chris Murray officially out for Portland. I'm with you. LaMelo Ball's still my favorite of these spend-up guys. I like Colin Gillespie in the mid-tier. I like Stephon Castle. But Tyler Herro is probably the one that I like. I like him on both sites, but quite a bit more on FanDuel than on DK with that only 7K price tag. For my own lineup here, what do you like better? Would you be going Tyler Herro and who was it? All right, I forget what I was even going to do, so we'll come back to that. Tyler Herro and Khalil Ware, or I forgot it again. Okay, never mind. Shooting guard, who do you like? I got to sort my brain out here.
Somebody in the chat is talking about Derek White. Do you like Derek White at all? I don't really like any of the Boston guys. Tatum's not going to take his minutes away, but he's going to take some usage away while they're on the floor together.
Yeah.
So I don't know. He is cheaper on FanDuel, but I don't think I'm going to get there. Shooting guard, other than the guys we already talked about that are point guard eligible, I like Larson quite a bit. 5K is a good price point for a guy that's going to see 33 minutes or so. Brandon Miller's here. Again, I think I like Miller more cash game, LaMelo more tournaments, but they're both solid options. Do you have any issue playing those two together?
No, I don't think so. Basically, anybody in that Miami Charlotte game, I feel good of just like loading up as much as possible, and so no issue for that for me.
I would usually do one or the other, but yeah, I think tonight's slate, that's probably the best game with Miami being shorthanded and good matchup for Charlotte. So I like that. Other guys, I don't know. Yeah, I like Jalen Green a little bit. That's pretty much
a lot of them like have that point guard eligibility, right? So we already hit them. Like Gillespie, I like quite a bit. Stephon Castle, I like quite a bit. Only other names I think I'd really want to add would be Mathurin and Knipple. Mathurin obviously way more expensive on DK, but I still think he's a good tournament play.
Yeah, I think so too. What's he at over here? I'm not even seeing him.
7-2, projected for 7% ownership right now.
Yeah, he's down there a bit, but again, yeah, he can get you 40. So I like that call. Maybe some Champagne at 4-4 if he's active.
All right, I remembered what the question was. It was Khalil Ware and Tyler Hero, or Reed Shepard and Colin Gillespie.
Number one for sure.
That would give me 4 Miami players, but I'm kind of thinking screw it. I got 4 Miami, 2 Charlotte. Let's hope this game goes into overtime.
And they're all going to be so highly owned that, like, if Ware goes off, he's going to be the lowest owned of your guys probably.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm going to need overtime in that one, but just don't think I'm going to get a chance to really switch it up. Small forward, Myron Gardner is not power forward here on FanDuel. Sorry, he is only $3,500. I honestly do think with the lack of value that we have on this slate, I'd be kind of looking at hitting the lock button on Myron Gardner now that he is in the starting lineup. You certainly don't have to do that. He's going to be very highly owned. We're projecting 10% right now. That's going to get updated. It's going to be far, far higher. Gardner getting the lock button for me, I think. I'm with you. I like Larson. I like Brandon Miller. I like Jaquez. I like Durant. I like Kawhi. Pretty strong position here, actually, as soon as we get to forward on FanDuel. Plus, we're now projecting him for 20 minutes. Pretty close to 5x there. I do think Jason Tatum is in play on FanDuel at 5,500.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I mean, he could play 12 minutes. He could be rusty. They could blow out. Like, there's so many things.
If you give him 24, it's like, damn, you got to play him in cash.
Yeah. How many lineups are you building before you get to Tatum? Like 3, 5?
I'd probably put him in 1 of 3.
Okay, so 3 max, you're fine with them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I typically just take a wait and see approach, and just if it burns me, it burns me. But I'm a one lineup guy, so that's probably why. But yeah, I like Kawhi quite a bit. 10K should be lower owned over here on FanDuel. You mentioned Gardner. 21 minutes seems pretty reasonable. 3.5K. I do think he's maybe not quite the lock that he is over on DraftKings, but still very strong play. Then you have Larson, Miller, Jaquez, who I like, Anunoby, especially if Hart ends up being out. We probably won't get that news till later, but got that built-in equity, and he already has the best RG value of anybody at small forward.
All right, couldn't agree more. Let's go over to power forward, where Iguodala and Ware do have power forward eligibility here. Makes it really, really nice because you can get to both of them easier, and then all of the strong plays at the center position with Ware coming off the bench and being all the way up at 6K here. I don't think he's necessarily a must, but still looks pretty good. I don't like OG Anunoby chalk over here on FanDuel. I do get that he's a good price. I just don't really like playing OG Anunoby into ownership. I might feel a little bit different if Josh Hart gets ruled out, but otherwise just don't really like it. I don't think it's crazy to get to some Sam Hauser only at 4,400. He's in the starting lineup for this one. And then again, keep in mind Keldon Johnson if we happen to get Justin Champagnie. Justin? I never remember which one's a Wizard, which one's a Spur. Who do you like in power forward?
Yeah, Iguodala, lock for me. I still like Khalil Ware in tournaments. I think he's going to be lower owned now that he's not starting. Jaquez, Ananobi. Jeez, I cannot say his name today. I don't know why. And then, yeah, those are the 5 that I like quite a bit. And I don't think I would play anybody else. How do you feel about Portland? Nobody's playing any of them, really. Do you like Şengün at all?
I don't mind Şengün. I think I'll like him even more if Jabari Smith, who is a game time decision, gets ruled out. And I like him more on DK than I do on FanDuel, but I think he's fine. I think I like Zion a fair amount on FanDuel, though, at only 77.
Does the Avdia news change anybody for Portland for you?
We had him projected out, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I believe we already had him out, but then we had Chris Murray ruled in. I still don't think there's anybody that overly pops. Like maybe it makes me like Klingon a little bit more. But still not really anybody popping over there for Portland.
Yeah, it's just tough to pay, I don't know, 75 for Drew in a bad matchup. Klingon, he's been great though. But he is priced up.
Agreed. I think Klingon would definitely be my favorite there. Viable at this set center position. But like Iguodala, Ware, definitely the number 1 priorities. Isaiah Jackson, I think, is more viable on FanDuel than he is on DraftKings just because all those other good plays do have the power forward eligibility. So even though you can only play 1 center, I still do actually like Jackson better a little bit more here just because of all those guys with power forward eligibility. Saw some people in the chat talking about Neemias Queta. Not for me with all of these guys. Like now that they have Vucevic, now that Jason Tatum's back as well, I just don't think his minutes are going to be very, very secure. So not a guy that I'm personally going with. I think you can play Derek Queen and just hope this is going to be one of those games that he, plays 28, 29 minutes instead of 18, 19. And if it is, I think at only 5,500 here on FanDuel, it's a very interesting large field play. But how are you in your single entry? How are you planning on handling center on FanDuel?
Yeah, it's not my favorite position. A lot of the guys that I like at power forward are the ones I would use at center, Iguodala and Ware. So I'll probably just use one of those 2 in my main lineup. But I think Kate is interesting. I know, you mentioned Vucevic coming back or being in the mix now, Tatum being back. But, I mean, he can put up 40 in 25 minutes. He's done it a few times recently. So I don't hate it at 4.8. Mitch Rob's interesting and large field stuff. Towns could get in foul trouble or, they could just decide to play bigger in this game. But, yeah, for me, it's probably just Iguodala or Ware.
Agreed there 100%. Maybe honestly easier to get to Jokic here on FanDuel as well, with it being a similar price tag to DK. Let's start taking some questions, going into the RotoGrinders live stream Discord chat first, going to the YouTube chat second. YouTube, make sure you keep smashing that like button for us. You got questions about NBA, you got questions about MLB, you got questions about the weekend. Get them in and hit that like button. Going to Discord first. Let's see here. Noto, favorite GPP spend up and also favorite low owned play.
Does it specify which site?
FanDuel.
I'm going to go low owned spend up. I'll go Kawhi at 15% ownership. And then was it any value or low owned value?
Low. And it didn't actually say value, but that's Carolina guy, and it usually is low owned value. So I think we can assume that it is.
I'm going to go Dylan Harper.
I like it. Last piece, Tyler Hero or Stephon Castle. I do like them both, but I think I would go Hero there. How about you?
Yep, I'm with you.
Nobody is talking about Cooper Flagg. Is he in your pool on FanDuel? That'd be a big no from me on Cooper Flagg, just because I believe, 1, Boston's a terrible matchup, but 2, I believe he's still on a minutes limit. He was yesterday, and now it's a back-to-back. He only played 25 minutes yesterday. Now that does bode well that he's probably not overly limited today, that he got a good little rest yesterday, but on a back-to-back when he was limited in the game before, don't really want to go back there because it's a tough matchup, and it's not like we're getting any type of price discount. Like, he's pretty expensive. DK, last piece, you want Reed Shepherd or Tari Eason?
I would go Reed Shepherd.
Yeah, I think he's got a little bit higher ceiling there as well. Eason more likely to just straight up get you 30 points, I think, but like FanDuel points, DK points. but Shepard's certainly the higher ceiling. What are your thoughts on Kevin Durant tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I think all of the Houston guys are going to get overlooked, especially if we don't have the Jabari news by, lock. So I think it's interesting. I'm not going there myself. I think that game has some blowout potential, especially with Avdia being out. But if you're building 5 lineups, I don't mind getting some Durant.
Mathurin or Eason on DK?
Ooh, I like both. I'm going to go Mathurin, though.
What if it was Mathurin or Shepard?
Still Mathurin for me. Although, if you already have Kawhi, maybe I would go Shepard there.
It's exactly how I feel. If you don't have Kawhi, go Mathurin. If you do have Kawhi, go Shepard or Eason. My preference would be Shepard too. DK single entry. Mathurin and Tyler Hero or Dylan Harper and Jalen Brunson?
I mean, I like Harper, but I'm going to go number 1.
Jeremy Grant or Khalil Ware, FanDuel GPP?
I'm going to go Ware.
Yeah, I still think I like Ware. Grant, a little bit more interesting maybe with Chris Murray out and Avdia being gone, but still, I think I would go Ware. DK GPP, can you play Khalil Ware and Myron Gardner together? I'm doing it. Playing one lineup, and I got them both right now.
Yeah.
I will say I think you need at least one. I don't think you got to max it at one, but I do think that you need at least one tonight. Is Kawhi Leonard a must-play for DK Cash?
He's my favorite spend. I don't think there's any must plays in terms of expensive guys tonight, but he's my favorite.
Agreed on that one. If you are spending up and not just doing a total mid-range build, I do think he's the first guy that you're looking to prioritize. A lot of talk about Khalil Ware. Do we still like him? Yeah, he's still totally fine. He's not the walk and load smash necessarily, but still one of the strongest plays on the slate, given the lack of value that we have. What's the thoughts on Dylan Harper and Keldon Johnson as low dollar with a chance of a blowout? We know you like Harper. Would you be okay playing Keldon also with him?
He's one of those guys I never get right, but he does have upside. So I'm fine with you playing him. I'm not fine if I play him.
I probably would only do that if Champagne's out. Otherwise, I think I would limit to one of those guys. DK, single entry, last guy in. You want Josh Hart, Jalen Green, or Tari Eason?
Probably going to depend on that late news. Like if Hart's out, go OG. If Jabari's out, you can go Eason. If not, you can go – who's the other guy?
Jalen Green.
Yeah, I kind of like Green. So I think just wait on the injury news and then go from there.
Would you consider Brook Lopez over Jackson if Jackson is getting ownership? No, I think I would just go elsewhere. I don't think I'd be going to Brook Lopez necessarily. I would just not play a Clippers center or a center in that game, that is. I would just much prefer to be sticking in the Ware Iguodaro range as opposed to going to Brook Lopez. Is Yakas Eunice in play on FanDuel? I'm not getting there. You have any interest in the cheapie for Miami?
I mean, he's interesting. He's not a single entry guy, but look at his game log. He's 20 plus very often, and it's a game where he could probably get 20 plus minutes. So I don't mind it.
Yeah, one of those guys that I'm not getting to in single entry, but in large field, I definitely think he could be included in the pool. And on that note, somebody's asking in Discord for large field tournaments, you want Yakas Eunice or you want Jose Alvarado?
I think Yakas has more upside.
I have a real soft spot for Jose Alvarado, so that's my guy. I would go with him, but there's a bias. Anytime I play him, he always seems to smash. So that would be where I would go. Trey Murphy or Tyler Hero. I already have 2 other Heat players, DK single entry.
Let's go Tyler Hero. You can play 3. Miami.
Agreed. Thoughts on Donovan Clingan? Like that is a large field tournament play. Not in the cash conversation. Probably don't get there in single entry tournaments, but I do like Clingan quite a bit for some larger field stuff. DeJounte Murray or Sadiq Bey, straight up.
Man, I like DeJounte. Didn't play last night. Fill up the stat sheet. I think I like him a little bit tonight.
FanDuel single entry. You want Jaime Jaquez or Khalil Ware?
Let's go. That's tough. I think Jaquez is probably the safer play, but tournaments, give me Ware.
Yeah, agreed there 100%. If you would just rather lock in 30 FanDuel points, go with Jaquez. If you want a guy that's going to get you 18 or 58, Khalil Ware is certainly that guy. Şengün and DeJounte Murray, or Jokic and Isaiah Jackson. Ooh, that's an interesting 2v2.
Şengün and DeJounte, or who?
Jokic and Isaiah Jackson.
That is interesting. I'll probably go number 2. Jokic and Jackson. I don't know.
I like that too. Both very interesting sides, though. I think I'd go Jokic Jackson as well. Jalen Green, Jaime Jaquez, or Pele Larson, and based on those prices, I assume that would be Jamal Murray, not DeJounte.
If it's Jamal, then it's number 2 for sure.
I think so. Green, Jaquez versus Larson Murray. If it's DeJounte, who would you go?
I think I would go number 1.
Yeah,
it's DeJounte.
Antoinette says, don't play Tatum for cash in FanDuel, ? I don't think he's a target, but I don't think it's necessarily a bad play because he's probably getting you 25 to 30 fantasy points, which isn't great, but it's also not terrible for a cash game.
Here's the thing. We haven't projected a 2% ownership in cash. That's not going to hurt you even if he goes nuts. And he could hurt you if he plays 10 minutes. So
that's true.
I don't think I play him in cash.
That's a very good point. It's a very good point. What are your thoughts on Kobe White tonight?
I don't have any. He's not on my radar.
Yeah, he's not somebody that was on my radar either. Let me double check, see if for a MME standpoint, $5,200, just not really getting the minutes. And I don't know how big the ceiling is if he's not going to give you enough minutes. So don't think that I get to Kobe White, but I don't think it's necessarily an awful play if you're running a ton of lineups. That'll do it for all of our questions. Who are you feeling in the plums, Noto? Who is breaking the slate tonight?
I'm going to go Kawhi up top, and I'm sticking in that same game and going Dylan Harper for value.
I like it. I'm going LaMelo Ball. I think 50, 60 plus DK points in that range today. Really, really like him for large field tournaments. And I'm playing single entry and I'm playing him there too. So really, really like LaMelo Ball today. If Josh Hart is out, does Jordan Clarkson become playable? I believe we have Josh Hart in our if-then projections. So let me pull that up right now and I can tell you if he's playable. I'll even pull up the screen share so everybody can see where I'm looking at. This is one of the more valuable tools that I think we have, especially if you're doing research early in the day. Kyle does a really great job with it. How our projections would change if players that are currently questionable get ruled out. So I had mentioned before talking about if Champagny is out, that boosts up Harper like we had talked about, but also I think that makes Keldon Johnson in play for the Knicks. If Josh Hart is out, I don't even think that we would have Clarkson in the rotation. Nope. No Jordan Clarkson, but I would really like Mohamed Diawara in that spot. Only $3,200, projects pretty well on a slate that we have absolutely no value. I like that quite a bit. Last piece, DK small field, Holiday or Hero. That has locked, but I would have gone Hero.
Yep.
And that, we got one more question in the Discord. Again, thoughts on Davion Mitchell and Brunson? I guess that's asking, what do you think of the pairing? What do you think about a Davion and Brunson pairing?
I don't necessarily think you have to pair them. I think they're both fine. Davion more of a FanDuel play, Brunson more of a high floor play. They're fine.
We have locked on that first game. Who'd you end up going with in for single entry? Obviously, you don't got to lay out your whole team because that could change, but who from this first game did you end up rolling out in your single entry lineup?
Yeah, so I actually I don't feel great about it, but I went with the Jokic lineup. So I got Larson, Gardner, and Yaku. I don't know how to say his name.
Yakusionis.
I think that's who I got.
I don't know that, but I think.
So yeah, I got a Jokic Kawhi with Yakusionis, Larson, and Gardner from the first game.
I went with a 4-2 stack in that first game, Miami and Charlotte. And although we got Khalil Ware 41%, Gardner 60%, Jaquez near 30. I'm kind of pleasantly surprised at how low owned Hero, Ball, and Miller are in large field tournaments. Miller 23%, which I kind of thought it would be higher, but Tyler Hero 10% and LaMelo Ball 12%. Feeling really good about that for tournaments today.
Let's get a couple overtimes.
Yeah, exactly. Good luck in all your contests today, everybody. We will be back this weekend as well for some more NBA crunch time, so stay tuned for that. Tim Booker asking if we will pick Yves Missi today for our tournaments. No Yves Missi, not somebody that I'm going to be getting to. But we'll be back tomorrow for some more NBA. It'll be myself, Taylor, and Will. And then I believe on Sunday tomorrow is myself, Taylor, and Tim. And then myself, Taylor, and Will. Man, I'm just getting out of here. I'm reading the schedule wrong. TJ, Taylor, and Will all weekend. I've been on for too long. I got to get out of here. The brain is turning to mush. Good luck in all your contests tonight, anybody. Last question before we get out of here is from Dean Shavelson, whoever that is. Have you ever seen today's film Friday, 21 Jump Street? Give us your review.
I've seen the one with Channing Tatum. I haven't seen like the old
is
it a show? I haven't seen that one. But yeah, they were making fun of me because I haven't seen any movies from like the 90s. So
one of the top, 2000s, 2010 comedies. It's not in that super bad Step Brother tier, kind of the tier below. 21 Jump Street. Really, really good movie. Really funny. All right, that'll do it. Thank you so much for tuning in today, everyone. We will see you again tomorrow on behalf of myself and Noto. Peace.